are a blended family.
We 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 are a blended family.
We're a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
We are a blended family.
And we are a blended family.
You're listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com with the Snaps.
All right, we are live at Dream City Church in Phoenix, Arizona with Blended Families Ministry with Doctors Larry and Carol Snapp. I'm your host, Kenyatta Goins. It's going to be a wonderful day here at beautiful, sunny Arizona. And we're just enjoying God's Word today. And now we're going to begin in the Word with Larry and Carol Snapp.
Hey, this is AC Green. You're listening to Christian Living Radio.
Much more than just Christian radio, it's a lifestyle.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Week 3 of Blended Families. This is one of my favorite ones. Out of the whole 12 lessons, this is one of my favorites. I probably have 2 or 3 favorites, but this is one of them. Celebrate your differences. Okay? Or the subtitle is Whose Normal is Normal? Okay? I like to start off with Psalm 139:14, and it says, part of it says anyway, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So, as a Christian, it's imperative that we understand who we are. What is our identity in Christ? Because once we understand that, it makes all the difference, right? But if we understand first and foremost that God created us and we are fearfully and wonderfully made, then we need to realize that we are valuable, we are worth something, and we also understand through some other scriptures that we have a purpose, there's a reason we're here, and it's up to us to figure out through that vertical relationship what that purpose is. We're all called to do something. And we can choose to be part of God's family, or we can choose not to. That's on us. Okay, so we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Every one of us is unique. Okay? Now this is kind of where things start, we get into the flesh and we do things in our own mind and our desires and, that kind of stuff. Plus it's also part of the spiritual warfare. Okay? We're all unique. No two are exactly alike. Even identical twins are not really identical. Different fingerprints. There's always something just slightly different. I had some cousins that were identical twins. When they were real young, I couldn't tell them apart. I didn't see them that often, but, if they weren't dressed different, I'd never know who was who. So, but as they got older, it was pretty obvious which one was which. Right? So, we were never exactly the same. I had 2 aunts that were twins, but they weren't identical. They were definitely easy to tell apart. But no two are exactly alike. Okay? We need to know we are all created by God in His image. Again, we need to know who we are, what we are. And I'm different than you are. You're different than I am. Okay? But we're all created by God in His image. Okay? Now we start getting into the normal and stuff like that, but our life history, and I think I commented on this last week a little bit, that our life history creates our normal. So everything you've been through, everything you've been taught, everything you've experienced, the things that have happened, all that kind of stuff, that creates your normal. This is what you understand. This is all this stuff got me to where I am today. Some of it's good, some of it's not, but it's all part of God's plan. Obviously, He doesn't want us to suffer necessarily, but He allows it to help us grow. And, it's through the trials and tribulations that we grow spiritually. Okay? But that history, everything that's happened to us in our life up to today, is part of that normal, the way we view things. So, I didn't bring any fruit today, although we do have fruit salad back there.
Yeah.
If I have an orange in this hand and an apple in this one, and say, which one is right? I get a lot of weird looks, obviously. But it's the wrong question. It's not which one is correct. They're both fruit. They're both created by God. They're both good. Right? They're just different. Okay?
Jen says, no, the orange is better.
Well, again, who's normal's normal, right? Our normal is our preferences.
Yeah.
Some people prefer oranges. Some people prefer apples. Some people prefer chocolate. Okay.
Now we're talking.
Everybody.
Chocolate's a fruit, right? It comes from a tree. Chocolate beans. But anyway, you got to ask the right question. Most of the time we're asking the wrong questions.
True.
One of my least favorite questions is why. If something happens, you do something, you say something, and then the other person says, well, why did you do that? Well, it's already done. Asking why isn't going to help any.
Yep.
It's really the wrong question in most instances. Now, if we're talking to God, there's a lot of whys that we would like to know. But when it comes to, our spouse or whoever we're in a relationship with, and, they leave their underwear on the floor, and we're asking, why did you leave your underwear on the floor?
Why not?
Who cares? Right? It's not about why. It is. What is the right question? What are you going to learn from this, or what are you going to do about it? Just asking why is like one of those, what do you call it? What kind of question is that? Not hypothetical.
Rhetorical.
What is it?
Rhetorical.
Rhetorical, yes.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Right.
It's irrelevant, sort of. Yes. Correct answer. So it's really not about right and wrong here. And that in a marriage, in a relationship, we have to realize life and death is more important than right and wrong. Right? You want your relationship to live, so sometimes you have to bypass the right and wrong of it to have the grace and mercy to speak life. Uh-oh.
Also, the timing. The timing when you ask something is very important.
Yes.
Don't do it in the heat of a big, heated discussion.
Yeah.
Wait for the right timing.
Timing is also very important.
How it's going to be received.
Yeah. We'll talk about some communication stuff a little later, but yeah, that's very important. Timing is everything, right? It's sort of like real estate, location. If you're in a relationship and you're trying to communicate, timing is kind of like location. It's very, very important to, if you're going to ask a question, make sure you're asking the correct question, but then you're not asking it at the wrong time, which puts gas on the fire instead of water, right? Okay. We've kind of touched on this already, but different, is not about right and wrong. When we are constantly looking at things through a lens of right versus wrong, it's kind of a pride issue.
You're listening to ChristianLivingRadio.com with Doctors Larry and Carol Snapp, Blended Families Ministry. class is already in session. Let's rejoin them now.
Because obviously I'm right.
No.
And you're wrong.
No. The lens.
Right? Yeah.
The Jesus glasses.
You need those Jesus glasses on. But when everything is about right versus wrong, it's kind of a pride thing. I made that mistake right off the bat. It's interesting how this thing works. One person in a couple digs a little deeper in the word maybe or something, so they start sprinting into the word, and the other one's kind of jogging, or just maybe a leisurely walk. Okay, so the one that gets ahead is like, which is what I did, was, she would say things or do things, and I said, well, that scripture says you're not supposed to do that. Well, that went over really well.
It was like your master's degree, Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Inside joke. Okay. Having been a computer programmer for 30-some years, never really did anything church-wise until the marriage fell apart. Went through a program. I got a sword, which was really cool, but then I realized there was college credit for it also. So I looked into getting my degrees, and I got the bachelor's real quick, and then I was into a master's program. So when I got my master's degree, I asked Carol, so now what are you going to call me?
In your dreams.
Right. That's exactly what she said. Like, don't even think about it. Right? So I had to get a doctorate because she wasn't going to call me master. Anyway, it's not about right and wrong. If you continually speak to your spouse or your significant other about, this is right, that's wrong, it's all you that's messed up. Okay? One of those examples is the chef and his wife, and she was trying to cook in his kitchen, and it was driving him nuts because she was cutting the carrots, but it was very slow and tedious, and she was just being very, very careful. And he was like, because he's like, that's how he does it, right? Well, he was trying to teach her how to do it his way, because his way was right. Well, come to find out, she just struggled and struggled and struggled with how he was trying to teach her, and bottom line is, he was right-handed, she was left-handed.
So she was never going to do it his way.
And he was trying to teach her how to do it right-handed. Yeah. So it was not her normal, right? It was his normal. And my normal is right and yours is wrong. So it's all about right and wrong, but it's a kind of a pride thing. We're not exercising any grace and mercy here. Which leads me to this other one. When something is different, it's an opportunity to exercise grace and mercy. And when you do that, guess what? You get wisdom. When you take the time, right, to exercise grace and mercy, you learn things. Who'd have thunk? Right? And if you're all about right and wrong, you're not taking any time and you're not going to learn anything. Okay? So, and when we have a covenant mentality in this marriage and this future relationship that we're working on right now, perhaps, when we have a covenant mentality, that's when we're exercising that grace and mercy. It's giving the other person an opportunity to be who God created them to be. We're not trying to change them. We're just trying to be a better us individually. So as each person becomes a better individual, they work better together. It's our pyramid that you can't